All right. YouTube, good morning. It is a beautiful Monday morning. It is a lovely Monday morning, right? We begin the week knowing very well that we are going to be cashing out, right? Let me get back to the main screen. This is the screen that I always use when I begin the videos, right? And before we get rolling YouTube, it is very much important that we have a look at the results we recorded on Sunday, right? I shared you 4 bet slips inside our YouTube channel. 7 odds, 3 odds, and 2 additional bet slips, which unfortunately never saw the light. But let us focus on the betting slips that were able to win, right? Now, this was the first bet slip I shared you yesterday. 7.877 odds, right? And as you go through the bet slip, you realize it was an easy victory. 7.877 odds, consisting of 6 teams. Istanbul, both teams to score. Lech Poznan win the game. Maccabi Haifa win the game. Craiova, double chance. Sarajevo over 0.5. And finally, Levski Sofia win the game, which was an interesting, wonderful victory. And the second bet slip, which we had, was the final bet slip I shared inside yesterday's video. And as I was sharing the bet slip, I remember mentioning the following to you, right? Spezia versus Frosinone is a game that I expect to be the best bet of the day today. If there is a single game you are trying to bet on today, then it is Frosinone versus Spezia over 9.5 corners. And I look at the scoreline, 2-11, wonderful, because I mentioned it was either going to be 13 corners or 14 corners. Looking at 13 corners this morning, then I am supercharged. Now, the funny thing is, in first half, we only had 4 corners. In second half, we only had... Now, the winning corners were recorded in second half. Reason being, Frosinone was pushing for a win, right? Even though they decided to mess up so many bettors who backed them to win the game. The scoreline was 0-0 for this very game. Spezia versus Frosinone, right? Now, we had Torino versus Bologna over 3.5 cards. The other cards came after 70 minutes, 2 cards. And it was an interesting victory once again. I just love these other markets. And I remember somebody commenting yesterday, must beta. I use Bet365. There are plenty options available to bet on, right? There are first half vote, second half vote, cards, throw-ins, falls. And I really want you to diversify your predictions, right? It is not a matter of diversification. What is important is when you decide to shift from the normal betting markets, you're still able to get value and you're still able to win, all right? So be aware of the following, YouTube. Today is going to be another wonderful day, and I want you to pay close attention. We have 5 odds, you have 2.7, you have 3.93, we have 3.508, and finally a bonus 2.247 to wrap up your Monday, right? But before that, if you're watching Masked Beta for the very first time, I am the Masked Beta, the sports betting professor, right? You come to YouTube to watch my video, right? And you need to subscribe because it is important for you. Subscribe to Real Masked Beta on YouTube. There is some instructions below. Football predictions and betting tips today. Welcome to the Real Masked Beta channel. No matter how you pronounce it, doesn't really matter, right? It's all about Masked Beta. Now, to get us rolling, I'll begin with the 5.1 odds. Amsterdam versus Cluj. Romania Liga 1, Cluj win the game, but odd is 1.80, possibly by a scoreline of 2-0. Rayo Ave versus Moreirense. Moreirense win or draw to occur, the odd is 1.388. An interesting fixture, we might have a draw. And then a game from Tamalik, it's Tamalika versus Górnik Zabrze, Poland. The away team Górnik win or draw. Then we have Cagliari Calcio versus Lecce. This is an interesting game. Italy Serie A. Cagliari Calcio Lecce, right? It's very, very funny, right? I've been trying the draw market. But any single time I decide to back the draw, what do we witness? We witness one of the teams rising to the occasion and brilliantly demolishing the other team, right? So Cagliari Calcio versus Lecce. And to talk specifically about Italy Serie A, I think Lecce might win the game, all right? Cagliari might win the game, but we're expecting both teams to score, all right? That should be able to deliver us the over 1.5 goals. So from the first bet slip, the two games that I do love, I love Cluj to win the game, and I love Cagliari Calcio versus Lecce over 1.5. Wonderful, wonderful set of odds. So that is our first bet slip YouTube. Our second bet slip YouTube, we have 2.729 odds. Now, let me wrap it up. Let me get to the teams you used to before I get to teams you do not know. Now, England FA Cup, we have Macclesfield Town versus Brentford, right? Brentford win and over 2.5 goals. The odd is 1.55. And then we have Girona versus Barcelona. Barcelona win and over 1.5 goals. The odd is 1.450, right? That is the odd for the second bet slip. A total odd of 2.247 made up of two bet slips, two games in the second bet slip. All right? Both of them are wonderful selections. You can just back Brentford win, Barcelona win. I expect them to win these games easily. Now, we have 3.508 odds, all right? An interesting game. Beta Jerusalem versus Maccabi Tel Aviv over 2.5 goals. Kasim Pasa versus Faith Karagumruk. Kasim Pasa win or draw. And then we have Atromitos versus Panserorirosa, right? Again from Greek Super League. Atromitos win the game. And then we have a game from Bosnia, Herzegovina. Zelze. The home team win the game, right? Home team win the game. The odd is 1.43. The home team is the team with a Z and car, right? YouTube, as we proceed, before I share you the last two bet slips, right, I'm going to leave the best for last. So, as you prepare to have a look at the last bet slip, please pay close attention. I am going to remind you, for the sake of clarity, I want you to be aware that what I'm about to say next is important. In case you're watching Must Beta for the very first time, welcome to the Must Beta YouTube channel. I am the Must Beta, and you are the one in need, right? You need the predictions to be able to win in betting, right? Pay close attention. Like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and welcome anyone you know who is engaged in sports betting. Because before you know it, lo and behold, one of the days you will be waking up and you will be shocked to realize Must Beta won millions through sports betting and you are not here. So subscribe, turn on notifications, because I want to tell you one thing. If that day is going to happen, then it's going to happen over here on the Must Beta YouTube channel. So subscribe, turn on notifications, because once again, it is for your own benefit. Woo! We have 2.729 odds. This is our fourth bet slip before the last bet slip. Botev versus very, very wonderful names, yeah? A game from Bulgaria. Botev win the game or a draw to occur. Then you have a game from Denmark Superliga. Sunday, whatever. Home team to win or away team to win the game, right? Home team to win or away team to win. There is a terminology or a phrase I love using so much. I don't think I've used it this year. We are sports bettors, right? We do not care about the pronunciation of these teams, right? How they're supposed to be enunciated is none of our concern. What we care about is, if we back the home team, if we back the away team, are they really going to be in a position to perform as expected and deliver as a cash out? That is what we care about. So do not care about whatever. Right? As long as you can see, as long as you can read, as long as you can view, that is all that is important. Now, the last game in the fourth bet slip is Bravo versus Alumni Nij, right? Bravo win the game. The odd is 1.7. 2.90 odds. All right, interesting. Slovenia Liga 1, and I do expect they will be able to deliver that. Finally, YouTube, time to have a look at our last bet slip. Our last bet slip today, YouTube, we're talking about a wonderful selection of 3.933 odds. Some of you are using betting sites that are so generous, and so I believe you're going to be getting 4.2 plus odds. Congratulations, all right? And some of you are using betting sites that allow you to get bonuses, and so congratulations in advance. Our last bet slip, YouTube, is an interesting bet slip made up of both teams to score selection. All the games in the last bet slips, right? All the games in the last bet slip are on the both teams to score market. Girona, Barcelona, both teams to score, the odd is 1.52. Macclesfield Town versus Brentford, both teams to score, the odd is 1.89. And the last game today is Beta Jerusalem versus Maccabi Tel Aviv, both teams to score, the odd is 1.390. What are your thoughts on these both teams to score selections? I really hope that all of them will be winning. Girona Barcelona seems solid to me. Beta Jerusalem versus Maccabi Tel Aviv seems solid to me. If there is one that might be problematic, it's Macclesfield Town versus Brentford. However, I do not want to focus on the negative. I want to believe that positive is supposed to be the outcome we get. Now, YouTube, those are the 5 bet slips I've shared you today. Once again, I'll repeat: 5 odds, 2.7, 3.93, 3.508, 2.247, and I do hope that you will be diligently selecting the one that you think is going to work for you, right? The games are good, the games are beautiful, right? I hope the players and the VAR officials are going to be beautiful. The last thing we want is a scenario whereby a goal is scored and then a few seconds, right? The goal is scored, 1 second later, VAR reviewing, penalty reviewing. So we really hope that all the other non-controllable factors that exist in the world of sports betting will be in our favor. And because of that, disclaimer: sports betting involves financial risk, all right? Do not bet what you are not willing to lose, right? Bet responsibly, right? Do not go ahead betting randomly, betting as if the world is ending tomorrow, right? The world is not ending. And of course, if you want accurate predictions, you do know where you're supposed to get them. There is a link in the pinned comment section. There is a link in the pinned comment section in the video description. Proceed, watch the video, and do the make the diligent decision you're supposed to be making. With that being said, YouTube, we've come to the end of today's video. The only thing I can let you know, join us inside Telegram, where I will be sharing you more predictions. And as always, take care. I am rooting for you, and I hope you get to win this very new week. Tomorrow is Champions League. We have 4 beautiful matches tomorrow. Galatasaray, an interesting game for me. Real Madrid match, an interesting game for me, right? So far, I was window shopping, so, right, I was already having a look at the games, and believe me, we're going to be having interesting selections for the Champions League, and you do not want to miss these, right? So pay close attention, right? Pay attention. I'll be seeing you tomorrow morning, and until next time, once again, best of luck. Bye-bye. Adios, or adios, muchachos.